What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it. All right, everybody, welcome on into another episode of the Dan Russo Show presented by the Red and Gray Gridiron Group and Underground Sports Philadelphia. I'm your host, Kyle Bennett, and joining me once again this week after a busy and eventful week, which we will get into here at the top of the show, is Coach Russo, head coach of the Vineland High School football team. Coach, welcome back to the show. Missed you last week, but we did have Rich Scarpa fill in for you with like kind of a mid-season, booth review of this season so far. So thanks to Rich for filling in on short notice for us. But glad to have you back. And let's start off too, since you weren't here for it, the Lou Picone entire just day that you guys had last week. How did the event go? How was it, having him, come out and talk to the team? And obviously all the festivities from everything that was captured on social media looked absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it was great. Mr. Percone's a great man and has a lot of history here in the city of Vineland and did great things, in the NFL playing for the Jets and the Buffalo Bills. And it was great to have him speak to the kids. Been the head coach going into my 10th year, and I've never had the opportunity or the honor to meet him. And finally it worked out. We were planning something, pre-COVID to honor him and bring him back to Vineland, but then things, as you know, got a little difficult. So, we were able to set it up. Mr. Glenn Lilly approached me, worked for one of our supporters, Allen Associates, and, we were able to work it out, but it was a great event. He was able to come here and talk to the kids. And, it was great. Every second we got to spend with him. And then Thursday night we got to go over to Greenview Inn and spend some additional time with him. So it was a real honor and privilege to meet him. He's a great man. And, the kids listened to every word he had to say. And, he's inspirational.
Yeah, I think that was the number one thing that stuck out to me was all the pictures and everything on social media with him at practice and then at the event at the Greenview Inn. Anytime he was speaking, everybody's eyes were just dialed in on him, and that just goes to show you the amount of respect and how much the guys on this team look up to somebody like Lou Picone, and you jog it on down to some people that they've been around as well, like a Jamil Demby or Isaiah Pacheco, and these players that have been able to take their talents from Vineland High School to that next level. It just shows that, they want to work just as hard to, add their name to that list of, playing at the next level, even beyond, the NCAA level.
Yeah, no doubt. One thing that stood out to me that I didn't realize, he played 10 years in the NFL, and it's about longevity, like he said multiple times. And, giving it your all, obviously he didn't have the physical measurables that some of these other kids have, and he overachieved, with his size, and worked on his speed. And I didn't realize he ran a 4.3 42 back in 1970, early 1970s. So that's remarkable, and he's loved in Buffalo as well. I know he's a fan favorite, and like I said, he's a great man. And I think I have our new T-shirt, which I love. One of the quotes he said to the team, which I'm sure you saw on social media. He said, "There's no BS in football. You either do or you don't. It's as simple as that. You either
That's
do
fantastic.
or you don't." So
I love that.
yeah, me too. Old school.
That'll definitely have to get on a T-shirt one way or another.
Oh well, it's coming.
I love that one. We are now 5 games into the season. Unfortunately, this past week, losing to Washington Township. A tough game. It was 7-0 at halftime, so I don't think, if you just look at the box score, it doesn't really tell you how the game truly went. But what were your guys as a coaching staff collectively, what did you take away from that game, and what are some things that you picked up on when you were watching film this week that you really want to focus in on, fix up some of the mistakes, and carry forward as you guys get set for a home game against Holy Spirit this week?
Yeah, the game was closer than the score indicated. We had two opportunities in the first half to put some points on the board. First opportunity, we were first and 10 on the 20, turned the ball over. Multiple reasons why that happened. And then before the half, we had an opportunity to score and just didn't get it done. So if you look at it like we had even if you were 50% in the red zone and you got 7 points out of it, we would have been 7-7 at the half. Obviously you'd like to be 14-7 winning at the half, but we were moving the ball and unfortunately got hung up in the red zone, as you saw. But I still felt like we had the momentum going into halftime. I felt like the momentum was on our side. So I made a decision, to take the wind behind our back and have our kicker Greif, kick a touchback, thinking we'll pin him back on the 20, get a defensive stop, get the ball back, score, be tied 7-7, and then momentum's still shifting in our favor. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. They had the big run, first play of the third quarter. You get behind 14-0, then you start changing what you want to do, and you're getting desperate to score because you're going to run out of time. So then we start doing some things, we don't necessarily want to do. And it just escalated from that. And kids played a lot better. Washington Township's a very talented team, very big up front. I feel like we had a great game plan. We're trying to outflank them on the sides. A couple plays here and there. I think I calculated 4 or 5 plays in the course of the game. If they went a different direction, we're right in that game, possibly even winning it. So, the score is awful, as 35-0. But I do feel like our kids gave us everything they had. They fought till the end. Unfortunately, you get desperate to score. You go down 21-0, and you're trying to throw some vertical routes, and they're double teaming Hitchens. And, they're picking the ball off. So, like I said, they're a top 5 team right now in Group 5. A lot of seniors. I think they had close to 18 seniors. I feel like the whole offensive line was seniors. 71's going to Rutgers. And you're not going to a Big Ten school to play offensive line if you're not the real deal. And, he was very talented. And he just didn't want to block you. He wanted to hurt you. He's a physical player. And, we have to get more physical. Our offensive line is doing the best they can, but obviously we lost Jameson. Gilbert's out. We've got a left tackle in with limited experience with Darnell Herring. Jerry Sode. I think you can pronounce his first name better than I can. Alufemi.
Yep.
How'd I do? All right.
I think that was pretty damn close.
Yeah. He's a basketball player that I recruited to play football. He's been playing football for 3 months. He's our varsity left guard.
I like him a lot too, ladies and gentlemen. I met him pregame, and I like his character, his demeanor. Like, he is he's one of my favorite guys on this team.
No doubt. He's a great kid, and like I said, I recruited him to play football. He's a basketball player, and his mom didn't want him playing football, and I was joking with him. I said, "Did you ever see The Water Boy?" A lot of these kids really haven't, so I just told him what Mama didn't know wouldn't hurt her. But obviously I was joking, and we got Mom's blessing, and she's letting him play football. And he's a hell of a football player. He's a hell of a kid. He's very smart. Our center, limited experience. Gallo wasn't able to play last year for certain reasons I don't want to discuss. And then our right guard Julio's got a lot of experience playing football. And then our right tackle is Jordan Bennett. Didn't play until his senior year.
Which is crazy because Jordan Bennett, everybody at home, if you have not tuned into a game or been to a game, he is one of the biggest human beings I've ever met personally. Like, he towers over anybody at the high school level. He's huge.
Yeah.
He's just a presence and a force. And the fact that it took until his senior year to put that athleticism in that body on a football field is crazy to me.
Yeah, no doubt. He's his brother Josh played for us. He was a great player for us in our program, and Jordan, he was on the track and field team. He's a thrower, and we were able to work it out with him, and he's playing football now. But in comparison to Washington Township's offensive line, they've probably been playing together since first grade because they have one feeder program, and they all play together from first grade till senior or high school. It's a little bit different. We've got kids 3 months, didn't play last year, this and that, and I think our offensive line is doing a hell of a job and has overachieved. And Coach Gilbert's doing a great job with us. He's on staff, our offensive line coach, and it's like improved tremendously under his watch. So they're just going to get better. We do have some seniors, but we are relatively young. We have a lot of juniors and sophomores playing, but it's hard to get these kids the experience that some of these other programs are experiencing. And it seems like we're always playing catch up, but we're doing our best job to get these kids ready and prepared to play on Friday nights, and they're doing a hell of a job. But like I said, the score didn't indicate the game. It was 7-0 at half. Could have been 7-7 or even 14-7 in our favor. We were moving the ball on a really good football team, who was the number 1 seed last year in Group 5, as I recall.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big time school with a lot of history and a lot of success, state championships, playoff wins. And like I said, we're just trying to play catch up here and get our guys ready to play big time ball. We have a big time schedule here. As I've mentioned, there's 17 divisions in West Jersey. We're in the 3rd highest. We were in the 1st for the last 2 years, and we're hanging in there. Our guys are battling. They're going to play good Friday night. We've had a good week of practice, especially considering the circumstances with the rain. We've been inside in the gym, also in a classroom, watching a lot of film, fixing our mistakes. We're like a mistake or two away from making some big time plays, and we're going to correct it.
That's why I always encourage everybody to not just pay attention to the box score and either tune in on the YouTube channel, Vineland Public Schools, if you can't make it out to a game, or come out to a game, because the box scores don't tell the entire story. Coach, you brought up Gavin Gallo, who has been on the show this year. Unfortunately, got injured on Friday night's game. Is there any status update on him? How is he doing post Friday night?
He's day to day. Rules have changed, obviously, and it's a good thing to protect the safety of football players with head injuries. So they've taken every precaution. Our trainer, referred him to a doctor, and doctor's checking him out. And it's better to be over precautious, when you take some type of hit that could possibly be some type of head injury, concussion, things like that. So we've got great trainers here with Trainer Dave and Trainer Dara, and great doctors here locally in Vineland. So he's under the doctor's supervision now. Says he's fine. Obviously, all these kids, they're tough kids, but I will tell you, he did get hit fairly hard Friday night, but he forgot his book bag that had his cell phone in it, and he was at the locker room before we were on our bus ride home from Washington Township, and pretty coherent and asking for his cell phone. So I think he's okay, but I'm not a doctor and I'm not a trainer.
Yeah,
And
especially after seeing everything that has happened recently with the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, exactly. So it's out of my wheelhouse, but I will tell you, he was here before us and wanted his cell phone so he could text his friends and do what they do on social media right away. I'm just kidding, but I think he's fine. But like I said, I'm not a doctor, and we're going to listen to whatever the doctor and the trainers have to say, and I'm fully on board with that. We want to protect these kids, you know.
Yeah, we don't want to find ourselves in a Tua Tagovailoa situation because one,
Yeah, no,
that
and
was
we will
just
not. Trust me.
crazy
This
scary,
is,
and
yeah,
two, for
this
that
is
to
the
be happening
NFL.
at the peak of the sport at the NFL level is just so egregious and crazy.
Yeah, obviously we're not the NFL. Don't have their resources, but we do have some common sense here, and
Yeah,
we're going to follow the doctor's orders and the trainers here, and it's not even up for discussion. It's out of my wheelhouse. They will tell me when he is ready to return to play, and it is what it is.
glad to hear he's doing relatively okay for what the circumstance
Yeah,
one looked like on Friday, and
yeah,
what it could be too. It's good to know that he's doing well.
yeah. I've been in communication with him, and he seems to be doing fine. I've been in communication with his parents as well, and they say he's doing well. So we're gonna take it day by day.
So you brought up, this week of practice, there's been some obstacles, obviously, with Mother Nature and this hurricane occurring and obviously affecting our weather patterns with lots of rain in our area. Um, as coaches, how do you guys kind of, game plan day to day, kind of following this radar, having to be your own type of Glenn Hurricane Schwartz, if you will, and, following these weather patterns and, having multiple practice options ready to go because you never know what the predictability of the weather's going to be during a hurricane season.
Yeah, with doing this for a while, I just try to plan ahead, and I've been in communication with some of the other coaches here, and we're doing our best to share facilities because their sports are important as well. So um, last couple days, we've watched some film for like the first hour, the classroom. The first day, specifying more with maybe a little more offense, and today with defense, and then offense yesterday, and then defense today, and it's working out. The kids can wear their equipment in the gym. Obviously, we don't really hit to the ground anymore, bring people down, so you could still thud a little bit and keep everybody up, and wear shoulder pads, helmet, and sneakers. So kids have been doing a great job. Obviously, the gym isn't you know a huge facility where you can have freshman, JV, and varsity. So the priority today was varsity. JV had a game yesterday. Fortunately, we got it in thanks to having artificial grass, or the game would have been canceled because you can't play on grass when it's flooded. The turf drains immediately. It's great. So everyone's trying to do their best, in the athletic department to share facilities and give everybody some time to get some practice work in. So we give our kids an opportunity to win their games. Um, Freshmen are scheduled to play Ocean City on Thursday. We're hoping to get on Romano Field, hoping it dries out because there's a middle school soccer game that's scheduled for Gatone. So it's kind of funny, the soccer team's playing at the Gatone and the football's playing at Spring and Maple, the soccer facility. But hey, it is what it is, right? Um, Trying to just share facilities and get these games in so these kids can get some experience, some valuable experience. So when they're a varsity athlete, they're prepared and are ready to succeed. So it's been a challenge this week, but I think we're having a good week of practice. Tomorrow we're going to try to get out on the practice field. I'm hoping that this stuff slows down and the wind dries the field out. I know it's raining now as I was heading over to the high school, and I'm hoping it slows down a little bit.
Yeah, and back at home this week, you guys get a Holy Spirit team coming in. Last time you guys faced them, I believe, was 2020, which was the first game that I was on the broadcast for when Rich went out, when he unfortunately came down with COVID-19 back in 2020. But Holy Spirit coming in, what are some things that you guys have, picked up on that they do really well? Obviously, they've had some turnover, player-wise to graduation and everything since the last time you played them. But what are some things that you guys have picked up on from Holy Spirit that you're trying to key in on and trying to prevent them from being able to do on Friday night?
Well, they're well coached. They don't make mistakes. They process what the coaches are training them to do. As you can see by their film, they're fundamentally sound. They execute their plays the way they're supposed to, and they're a very good football team. And we have a lot of respect for them. It's not going to be easy, but our kids are going to give us, all they have. Like I said, we have a great week of practice. Um, you know, we're home. Kids are working hard. They don't like losing, obviously. Neither do the coaches. So we're going to give it 100%, and we're going to give them a game. That's one thing I can assure you. We're getting better. Kids are working hard. Coaches are working hard. Um, we need to put together a full game and stop making some mental mistakes, which we've been making the last couple of weeks here. And we got to have more intensity, sense of urgency here. You got to be able to handle adversity and bounce back from it. And the other night we had some adversity, and kids didn't react the best. So we're looking to go out there, and we're going to play to win.
Yeah, and you look at some of these recent games, especially this past week where it was 7-0 at halftime, and back in 2020 when you last played Holy Spirit, it was a similar kind of situation. I believe the final score of that game was 21-7, if I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken, and it was
sounds about right.
7-7 at halftime, I believe, or 7-0 at halftime. So it's not like you guys haven't played a Holy Spirit team very close and very well. So I'm looking forward to just these two teams getting another chance to clash, and this time at Catone Stadium. Last time you guys played, it was at Holy Spirit. And you bring up this team doesn't like losing. They've gotten that taste of winning. They won 2 games in a row, and now have lost 2 in a row. How much do you think just from viewing them, watching film this week, and being in the gym, how much do you think this mini skid has kind of fueled them to want to get back on the winning ways?
Yeah, nobody likes losing, and unfortunately, the last couple of weeks we haven't played our best. But it seems like it's a crazy kind of season. I follow other teams. It seems like a lot of teams are up and down, and certain teams that are supposed to win are not winning. You look at a Williamstown and they're 1-5.
Crazy.
That's different because in 18 and 19 they won the state championship, and we played them 2 years in a row in the quarters, and unfortunately they beat us. So we've been up there with them. But to see a program like that 1-5, it just shows you. Actually, even St. Augustine right now is 2-4, and they're picking the best kids in every town. So what that means is no matter what talent you have or who's on your team, you got to play hard every Friday night and do what you got to do to win the game. So on paper, yeah, maybe you should win, but that's why you play the game, right? So you got to go out there and battle, and you never know. It seems like it's that kind of year where there's a lot of upsets, and certain teams that probably in the past would have won or should have won that game are not. So, we're going against a tough opponent. At the end of the day, it's high school football. Anything can happen. So we're going to work hard, stick to our game plan, and go out there and do our best to win the game.
And you guys are back home this week after 1-game road trip out to Washington Township. How excited are you guys to just be back at home, be back at Catone at that world-class facility, and be in front of what Rich and I have said on the broadcast this year too, in the home games that we've had? The fans this year are unbelievable. They are like on the edge of their seat, as where we're broadcasting from is right above them. They're on the edge of their seats, just ready to explode at any play for you guys. And I think that has been such a change. And I'm sure, pandemic year, not having nearly any fans due to restrictions and everything. Last year, kind of everybody getting back into the flow of things. This year, it feels like everybody's back and ready to just be behind this team. And it reminds me of when I was in high school and going to games as a fan, and we had our fan section. The crowd energy this year has been unbelievable, and I want to give a tip of the cap to everybody that's come out to the home games because they're just ready to go just as much as you guys are, and I think that has enhanced the overall experience of going out to a game at Gatone Stadium, and it's really turned into Friday nights. That's the place to be, is Gatone Stadium.
Yeah, no doubt. Our kids have witnessed great crowds at some of these venues we go to. Like they have a theme everywhere you go. That seems like that's a new trend in football in high school and college, especially. I don't think NFL does it as much, but there's been like these themes everywhere you go. So our kids are doing the best they can to promote our Friday night games, and I think the last game unfortunately was a loss. But actually, the first game we did a whiteout, and then the second game, home game, it was like Hawaiian night, and then Friday night's going to be a blackout. So we're hoping everybody can wear their black gear, and we'll have some Vineland football black long sleeve T-shirts and hats for sale. And we're going to have like a game, like a apparel store, I should say. We're going to put it underneath Gatone in one of those rooms there, and if anybody wants to, buy a shirt and support the football program or hat, we're going to have them available. And we're looking to black out Gatone. Kids will be in their blackout jerseys. We weren't able to do that for a couple of years because, believe it or not, Custom Graphic, who we use in Vineland, they didn't have the vinyl. There was a shortage of vinyl. Like there's a shortage of everything now in
Yeah.
the country. Believe it or not, there was a shortage of the vinyl lettering for the kids' last names we do on the back of their blackout jerseys. So we're going to have them ready for the kids. I'm hoping that brings us some extra juice. We always play great with those black unis on, and the kids are going to play hard. We've made a couple changes. We've got some new players in that we're putting in new positions, maybe to keep certain guys going one way. We're trying to do that with the linemen, especially because bigger guys need some breaks. Is that yours or mine?
I think you cut out for a second.
All right, where'd you hear me last?
Bigger guys need some breaks, which I can totally agree with.
Yeah, so we're doing our best to get those guys some breathers and linemen going one way, and I think it'll benefit us.
100%. And not that this team needs any more bulletin board material, but our good pal and does a fantastic job working side by side with you, Jimmy C. Fed me some information at the last home game to bring up on the broadcast. You guys are looking to break a winless drought at Gatone Stadium. I don't know if he sent you this info or not, but last time you guys won a home game was November 5th, 2020.
Wow, against Clearview, right?
I believe so. So, not that you guys need any
Yeah.
additional bulletin board material because I know you're prepared for this week, but you are looking to break a nearly 2-year drought of wins at home. And like I said, the fans at home are ready to boil over with excitement. The band and the drum line, which has been, I think, a fantastic addition to the marching clan this year, is that halftime drum line routine. They're ready to celebrate a win with you guys, and I think adding the black jerseys, like you mentioned, is a big boost there. But I don't know if that's something you want to whisper in some of the captain's ears and say, "Hey, here's a little extra motivation. Go get yourself a W."
Yeah, no doubt. The kids, the effort's there. They're working hard, good attitudes. It's just we got to put a full game together, eliminate some mental mistakes, and we'll be just fine. But looking forward to writing this ship Friday night. It's going to be a good game. Our kids will be ready.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how everybody responds and comes out ready to rock and roll. And last week we with Rich on the show, we kind of did a mid-season report checking, kind of a report card show. Wanted to just get your thoughts. Halfway through the year, what are your thoughts on this rendition of Vineland High School football, this 2022 roster, and how you guys have performed now 5 games into the campaign?
Yeah, the last 2 weeks have been disappointing. Um, Obviously, the scores are awful. I felt like we improved against Washington Township. Like I said, we're just trying to change some things up at the end of the game and led to some scores for them. But winning some games, obviously, you practice and you work hard to win. And you want to win on the scoreboard. You want to win every game, as you know, as a program. So, the kids and the staff doing the best they can to do that. But last couple of weeks, like I said, I feel like the teams we played are very good, but we didn't play as good as we could have. And I need to do a better job getting the kids, mentally prepared. And I'm doing the best I can. And so is the staff. But moving forward, we still have a lot to play for. We still can earn, a playoff berth. And, once you get into the playoffs, it's a different season. So I make sure that the kids know that. If I communicate with them, win or lose, you play a Holy Spirit, which is one of these bigger private schools. You get a multiplier as far as your power points. So you get all kinds of points for even playing them. You have the Prep, St. Joe's, and Holy Spirit in the first 3 divisions in West Jersey. So when you play them, I think they're the only private schools in South Jersey where you get like a huge amount of power points. Just win or lose, just for playing them, you get it. Because obviously, they can have any kid they want from any town if the kid agrees to go there. They don't have to live in a certain town because it's a private school. They can live wherever they want. They can even live in a different state and go there. So it's not the easiest deal playing one of these schools, but we're going to make the most of it. We're going to play hard and we're going to go out there to win the game. But with that being said, as I mentioned, we will get a ton of power points just for playing them. So that's going to put us, in the playoff picture. And then we have a couple games as well that we need to win to assure ourselves a playoff spot. Because, like I said, the playoffs are a different season. You get into the playoffs, anything can happen, as you know, with any sport, especially football, because the teams that can stay healthy and keep moving forward are successful. And we got a mixed bag of players here. We have some seniors that are contributing. We have some juniors and we have some sophomores. So I want to say we're relatively young still, even though we do have some seniors that are starters. But putting a full game together is very important. Some of our sophomores now have varsity experience and they need to play more like their seniors. So we need to eliminate mistakes and turnovers, and we'll be fine. But as far as the first half of the season, we need improvement. I'll assess it as that. We need improvement. We need to work harder, be more mentally tough, go out there with some more intensity, and just keep working toward that goal of winning every week and winning the day. I tell the kids each day, you need to win the day. You need to win the day in school academically, and you need to win the day at practice. And then on a Friday, you're going to win the game. So it's all about staying in the moment, not looking ahead, and just taking a day at a time and doing the best you can.
Yeah, and you brought up, you get to the playoffs, anything can happen. It's a new season. I can attest to that. Coach Russo knows I cover professional lacrosse over the summers and everything. There was a club this year who were the defending champs who in 2021, the fan poll vote for who everybody thought was going to win the championship, the eventual champions were voted upon by the fans to have a 3.2% chance to win the championship. This year, they get in, had a bunch of players coming back late because they play the indoor season as well. They finished 2-8 in the regular season, got in with the final playoff spot, made some magic happen in the postseason, got back to the championship, and it was a one possession game. They ended up losing, but even less of a percentage of people thought they were going to win the championship, let alone get there. So it just goes to show you, your record can say what your record says, but doesn't tell the full story of the games and the determination and grit that is on a roster. So anything can happen if you make it to the postseason. All you got to do is get in and punch your ticket to get there.
Yeah, no doubt. That's the goal. So we're going to keep working hard, getting better as a program, and getting out there and winning some games. That's what it amounts to. So looking forward to Friday night. Um, like I said, not the easiest week here with the weather, but we're going to do the best we can, make the most of it, and go out there and compete.
100%. And we've had some alumni competing quite well recently, Coach Russo. Obviously, Tyreme is doing his thing with Rutgers. They've been on a bit of a slide here, but playing some top tier talent in that Big Ten, going up against a gritty and gross offense with Iowa, but their defense is stellar. And then obviously they just went and played Ohio State this past weekend, the number 3 team ranked in the country going into last weekend. And then, the as I mentioned to Rich, it's like in Aladdin when Jafar has the scroll list of how many players we have playing at the NCAA level, just doing their thing and performing at the collegiate level. Their season's well underway. We got schools across New Jersey, Pennsylvania. It's just incredible just to continue to go back and see all of these players that are playing collegiately right now and playing very well in 2022.
Yeah, our kids are doing a great job. Real proud of them. Specifically, talking about Tyrame, he's doing a great job, and Iowa, they're 4 or 5 plays away from making that a closer game as well. I mean, they get a first down, then the guy fumbles, and then the guy picks it up and scoop and score. I mean, you just can't have things like that. So they're learning as well. It's a culture thing. You're playing the Iowas and the Ohio States of the country. I mean, it's a whole different world. I mean, culture, meaning everyone's on board with what's going on. You're talking about years and years of it, a huge history with those programs. And, Coach Shiano's trying to fix the culture at Rutgers and fix the culture in New Jersey. And he's the guy. And if he can't do it, in my opinion, there's nobody that can do a better job than Coach Shiano. So he's out there, grinding every day. Or as he says, they're chopping wood and all that stuff. So I really like Coach Shiano. I can't see any other coach in the country doing a better job than him, especially with his New Jersey roots. I'm a big fan. We've sent kids there, and we're rooting for them. And, as you mentioned, we've got kids all over playing. Conrad Jackson and Barry Turner over at Del Val. I want to say they're undefeated. And Braylon Blakely's at TCNJ. Anthony Arthur is at Wagner. Tyrese Powell at Keene University. I want to say they're 2-2 now. They're doing a nice job. I'm looking forward to seeing him play against TCNJ and Braylon. So can't wait to see that. We've got some guys at Sussex County College, like a junior college, JUCO. We got Bennett's brothers there. Josh Bennett's playing. I want to say DeMarcus Rivers is playing, given all he has. And Davon Seymour, I feel like, is still doing his thing. And, we got guys doing a great job out there. And it's the first thing you got to do, is I tell all of them when they step foot in Vineland High, is the academics are the most important. And then you got to work hard, with your sports, off season, in season, all that stuff. So kids are buying in, doing the right things. And we've got some kids on our current roster that are going to play in college as well. So we do our best to prepare them. High school is real nice. Everybody loves you. It's your hometown. Everybody knows you. You go away to college, it's business. starts turning into a business when you play college football, and obviously at the pro level, that's big business. But I tell the kids it's a different field. But if you love the sport, you'll keep playing because you love for your love of that sport. But major difference going from youth football in your hometown and high school football in your hometown to college and pro. So, and then speaking about pro, obviously the next segment we're going to talk about our guy Isaiah Pacheco, right?
Hit that Sunday night football theme music. We had prime time pop once again,
Yeah.
and he did not fail to disappoint. Had a 42-yard kick return to set the Chiefs up on a
Mm.
magnificent drive and a big-time win over Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Isaiah was making his presence felt as what felt like him taking over that RB2 spot behind Clyde Edwards-Helaire there for Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy. And the national praise on social media during and after the game was very much alive, as I saw tweets from the likes of Louis Riddick, a former NFL GM, worked in the Eagles front office. He's now obviously with ESPN as an analyst there. Said Isaiah Pacheco runs like every run is going to be his last, and put the 100 emoji there. And then Brian Baldinger, obviously notorious broadcaster, and now very well known on social media for his Baldy's breakdowns, where he just breaks down film for people from his point of view, and gave a big shout out to Isaiah Pacheco in one of his breakdowns, and also put in the tweet caption that he was from Vineland, New Jersey. So Isaiah getting all the praises from the national level is a pretty cool thing. And another wild thing that I was looking at this weekend, scrolling through obviously the fantasy sports app, but also seeing prop bets for Isaiah Pacheco on the sports books to have him score a touchdown at any time was also a pretty surreal moment. Seeing his name listed as an anytime touchdown scorer on some of these sports books as well was pretty cool.
Yeah, no doubt. It's very cool, and it really hit home to me when I was watching a game on TV, and there was a clip at one point that like they showed like Tom Brady's picture. They're taping him, whatever, obviously, and the next person you see is Isaiah Pacheco. I'm like, this is crazy. This is crazy. It's Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, and the next clip, it's our own Vineland zone, Isaiah Pacheco. So it's just unbelievable, and he's such a great kid, and he's always worked hard. And he's going to do great things. He's in a great situation, in a great program, and he deserves everything that he's getting now, and he's just going to continue to get better as he learns the NFL game now. He's in his first year, obviously, as a rookie, and came out early from Rutgers. Um, but he's doing great. It's nice to see him with a great offensive line, two blocking for him, and great coaches. Andy Reid obviously is a great coach, but then they get Matt Nagy from the Bears, who's a great offensive mind. John Spagnuolo, who was with Andy Reid at the Eagles and then was the head coach of the Giants. I mean, you've got two former head coaches on staff with you. I mean, that staff is phenomenal. And the other night, in addition to having great players, I just felt like Andy Reid and his assistants, coach the Buccaneers. They're just some of those plays and the innovation that they have is, and then you go and draft the quarterback, Mahomes, because you see something special. And Andy Reid's done a great job developing, obviously McNabb, and then Alex Smith, and then Mahomes. So
Had Nick Foles too.
Yeah, Nick Foles. Yeah, no doubt. So he's got a great staff, great situation, great players around him, and it's very exciting to see him doing what he's doing.
And I thought the cool quote from Chris Collinsworth on the broadcast as well was on Sunday Night Football, obviously, so on NBC. he was talking to Mike Tirico and said, during some of the meetings during the week and everything, you go and talk to Andy Reid and their coaching staff with the Chiefs, and you bring up Isaiah Pacheco, and they try to keep him as their little hidden secret. You ask them about Isaiah, and they say, yeah, he's going to be good, and they give you that smirk, but they know that he's going to be a star, and they know that they were able to get one over on 31 other teams by getting Isaiah in the 7th round of the NFL draft, and they're very happy that they were able to grab him in this year's draft, and they know that they're going to be able to develop him at the NFL level, like you said, and turn him into a superstar for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, no doubt. Getting back to business, big business especially, they look at it like they got a stud in the 7th round, and when you have a quarterback like they do, and they're paying him $50 million a year, and you have a salary cap, 25 is his last name, Aaliyah, you said?
I believe so.
Running
Yeah.
back? Well, he's in the last year of his rookie contract, so they're looking at it as a business, and they feel like he's in his last year, his 4th year of his rookie contract. They'll probably not re-sign him, and they have somebody behind him that's probably better, and they'll get him for the 7th round salary. So hopefully it works out for Pop, and he keeps doing what he's doing, and he makes it uncomfortable for them to do the same to him in his 4th year of his rookie contract, and they re-sign him to, a big-time contract. Obviously, he's going to make great money, more money than a lot of people in this town will ever make. But hopefully in his next contract, he's set for life and can take care of his family like he wants to. And, it works out. But, it's big business. These teams pay all this money for a quarterback, linemen, some defensive edge rushers. And then, unfortunately, running backs are disposable. But hopefully he makes, in a scenario where he's not disposable and they want to keep him there, because I know the fans will love him. His teammates will love him, and he brings all that extra juice in addition to his great skill set with his speed and his size and, even blocking great. I see him picking up linebackers, some things people probably don't pick up on, but I do. And football people do. Mike linebacker's coming in through the A-gaps, and he's blowing them up and giving Mahomes enough time to make that pass. They're the things that scouts look at. There's a lot of fast guys, and they can run and this and that, but are you going to block for your teammates? A lot of guys just want the ball, want to catch the ball, want to run the ball. They don't do the blocking aspect. Unfortunately, one person per play on offense is going to run or catch the ball. You know what I'm saying? So it's when you don't have the ball is what is important to making an offense fully functional. Like these bubbles passes and these smoke screens, if you don't have receivers, blocking for their teammates, the play's not going to work. So a lot of people just watch the ball. When you coach and when you see who makes the tackle and why a play doesn't work, it's the guy that doesn't block that hurts your offense. And those guys need to be praised more than the guys making the plays, if you know what I'm saying.
100%. There was definitely a play that I saw that helped the Chiefs move the ball down the field. Pop picked up a big-time block and allowed Patrick Mahomes to have a little bit more time to roll out and get the ball away. And, we had primetime Pop this week. We get it again this week, Coach. The Kansas City Chiefs are at home on Monday Night Football, hosting the Las Vegas Raiders. So we'll get Joe Buck and Troy Aikman talking about Isaiah Pacheco this week, which will be very exciting. And it's the only game in town on Monday Night Football, so we'll get primetime Pop 2 weeks in a row.
And I think better than Aikman and Buck is the Peyton Manning and Eli Manning cast, the Manning cast, which I absolutely love.
It's fantastic stuff.
Those guys are so smart. They're unbelievable. I just love listening. Every fan should just watch that Manning cast, and you hear two Hall of Fame quarterbacks talking about football, NFL football, and what works, why it doesn't. Those guys are unbelievable. So, and one other thing I can tell our fans, it's pretty neat that no one else will know, but the coach that recruited Isaiah to go to Rutgers. Coach Ash is now an assistant with the Raiders. And during the draft, I still have a lot of communication with Coach Ash. I have a lot of respect for him. We have a great relationship. Um, I was hoping that obviously the Chiefs are great, but I was in communication with Coach Ash, and obviously Coach Ash isn't the head coach, but Josh McDaniel is. But Coach Ash would love to have him in the silver and black, playing for the Raiders with him. They have a close connection. I know Isaiah still, you know, thinks the world of Coach Ash, or he wouldn't have gone to Rutgers. Coach Shiano's great, and he came in toward the end of Isaiah's career, but Coach Ash was the one that built that rapport and trust, and got Isaiah to go to Rutgers. It was his best recruit when he was the head coach at Rutgers. We had so many schools in here, but Isaiah, and his family liked Coach Ash and bought in the Rutgers and wanted to stay in Jersey, and they were loyal to Vineland. Played here for Vineland High School and for our program, and want to do the same for Rutgers and try to put Rutgers on the map. But I'm going to be texting Coach Ash this week and telling him to make sure he tells that Josh McDaniel, right?
Yeah.
That he should have had Pacheco in the silver and black. Now he's going to have to face him twice a year. So look out, man.
For at least the next 4 years.
Here comes Isaiah Pacheco at you, But that's a great rival too. Chiefs and Raiders. Wow, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, in Kansas City, it's always an electric atmosphere at Arrowhead, and
yeah,
I'm sure it's going to be decibels through the roof coming through the TV.
If these airlines weren't so damn screwed up, I'd probably fly out to a few games. But I'm hearing all these horror stories how like flights are getting canceled and thousands of dollars. And I was hoping Pacheco would have a game where I could drive. Looks like the closest game I think is Pittsburgh or Cincinnati. I think he plays in Pittsburgh, right? The Chiefs. I know they're in Cincinnati.
They are in Cincinnati in December.
You know what? They might not be in Pittsburgh. It might.
Yeah, I don't think they play Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Cincinnati, right? That's something else I was thinking about. My son loves Tom Brady, so he wants to see Tom Brady before he retires. In the perfect world, if I could have got the flight and there wasn't the damn hurricane, I would have flown to Tampa. But you know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Yeah, it'll be a good matchup. We'll have Peyton and Eli, Joe Buck, and Troy Aikman talking about Isaiah Pacheco on Monday Night Football. And just wishing continued success to all of our Vineland High School football alumni at each level that they're playing at. And hopefully some team soon. A lot of injuries recently. Need to get Jamil Demby back on a roster because it's not looking too good for the Rams so far this year. 2-2 without Jamil Demby on the roster is not too great after a Super Bowl win.
Yeah, hopefully Coach McVay sees the light and gets Jamil back in the blue and yellow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was talking to him yesterday on Instagram. He posted a picture of him getting gas out in California. It's almost $150 to fill his truck's tank.
Oh, my.
He said, I can't do this anymore, man.
How much is it a gallon?
I think it's like I think it's still like in like the $7 range or something like that out there. It's crazy.
I think the funniest thing I saw on social media is one of those Teslas, that are electric. And a generator on the back of it. And I thought the tag was California. So those things that like have the little carts on the back that you can have a platform on the back of your vehicle.
Yeah.
So I had the generator on the back of a Tesla. This country's so screwed up. You just can't make it up.
That's so funny.
I mean, common sense tells you have hybrids, meaning they're half gas and half electric.
Right.
So when you run out of the electric charge, you have a gas engine to get you where you got to go.
Which it also still blows my mind that a lot of these traditional gas stations don't have the electric
I
charging
know.
stations yet either.
And we're in New Jersey, and we're more advanced than these other states, and we don't have that many.
Yeah. I
I
think
mean,
the closest charging station I've ever seen is at St. Augustine Prep.
yeah, and I've seen the Wawa at Malaga has it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, hybrid, half gas engine, half electric. You know what I mean?
It's so funny.
But you know why it won't work? Because it makes too much sense.
Exactly. If it makes too much sense, it won't break through until it doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully, leadership in this country sees hybrids could be the solution until um, we can figure out the electric thing. Because I'll tell you what, another guy that I know that's in the car business says, you know what they do with those electric batteries when they don't work anymore? I'm like, no, what? He says they throw them in the ocean. Way out in the ocean, they're dumping these things when they don't work anymore. So, the fish and all the stuff that people eat, it's going to have that waste in it, and it's going to affect our bodies worse. Just can't make it up.
It's crazy.
So that's
I
a
also
whole
don't. I don't trust
other.
those Teslas. They drive by themselves. It's a little sketchy to me.
Yeah, I tell you. I don't, then they say these electric vehicles will get you, I don't know, 5, 6 hours, whatever it is, or however many miles. What happens if you want to go farther? What happens if you want to take your family on vacation or
You got to
go
Fred
visit
Flintstone
family?
it. Get
You got
those
to
feet going.
you got to find a charging station and charge for 6 hours. Come on, I guess you got to put a generator on the back, like the picture I saw.
That's incredible. Coach, Friday night, Gatone Stadium, Vineland High School versus Holy Spirit. It's going to be an electric atmosphere. Unfortunately, I won't be in attendance. I have a wedding to attend, but Rich Scarpa will be holding it down in the booth, and you guys can tune in on TV, on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel, or do the best thing possible. Friday night, it's the place to be. Gatone Stadium. Is it a 6 o'clock kickoff this week, Coach, or 7 o'clock?
7 o'clock. We're going to honor the Vineland Midget Football League. It's hard for the parents to get there, 5:30 pregame, so we pushed it back an hour. We want to honor those players, and cheerleaders and the coaches, and you know, they're working hard too, putting in that work to get those kids ready for the high school. So we want to honor them and see all the youngsters out there. We honored the Blitz a couple weeks ago. Now we want to honor the Violent Midget Football League. So looking forward to a great night. Hopefully our kids are ready to go and flying all over the field and get back on the winning track here.
So make sure you guys subscribe to the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel so you can tune into the game if you're not able to make it out to Gatone Stadium. And make sure you're following Vineland Football on social media. Red and Gray Gridiron Group Facebook page, at Vineland FB on Twitter. You can follow Underground Sports Philadelphia on Twitter as well, at Underground PHI. And subscribe to the podcast feed to get the Dan Russo Show. All you got to do is search Underground Sports Philadelphia on either Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. You get full video episodes of the Dan Russo Show each and every week on our YouTube channel. Premieres usually Thursday nights around 8 p.m. Eastern Time, so you can join in for the live premiere, get in the chat, and talk with us as the show progresses. But subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel so you don't miss out on that. And Coach, best of luck on Friday night. I'll be tuning in on my phone to see everything going down while I'm at the wedding and having it propped up on the table. And next week, hopefully we're talking about a big win over Holy Spirit, getting the PowerPoints even higher than expected, and then going into a big road matchup against the Egg Harbor Township Eagles next week. So for Coach Russo, I'm Kyle Bennett. This has been another episode of the Dan Russo Show presented by the Red and Gray Gridiron Group and Underground Sports Philadelphia. We will see you all next week.